Hello and very welcome everyone to this session of the current affairs. Today we are going to learn the current affairs for 9th of May 2024. So let's start and see that what are the things we can learn from this day. And before we start, these are the topics we are going to cover. So I got cover international, national and banking news for you. After that, I took care of defense, science and tech, sports news. Then we will discuss about the important days, summits, obituaries, and after that, I will discuss about the awards and recognitions and appointments. And at last, we will summarize that what we have learned and make notes of this particular session. Before we start, the images used in the slide deck are for education purpose only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators or owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Okay, so first that we have today with us is the World's Wealthiest Cities Report 2024 by Henley and Partners, New York Tops. So the report we are talking about is talking about the wealthiest cities. That means the cities which have the most wealth in terms of particularly every type of things like living styles and all that. So according to 2024 World Healthiest Wealthiest Cities report by Henley and Partners, New York City has retained its title as the wealthiest city in the world. Just to add to this, recently the costliest city was also discussed, in which New York was considered as the base city, and on that basis the costliest cities in the world are calculated. And in that category, Hong Kong was the costliest city in the world, and in India, Mumbai was the costliest city. The Bay Area in California is ranked second, followed by Tokyo. So New York, that is on the eastern side of America, is the costliest city. After that, on second rank, it was California, that is on the western side, on the Pacific side in USA. And after that, Tokyo, Singapore, and London in third, fourth, and fifth place, respectively. Mumbai and Delhi are the only Indian cities featured among the top 50 ranked 24th and 37th. So, in the best wealthiest city, Mumbai is the 24th wealthiest city in the world, and Delhi is the 37th. USA has emerged as the world's richest country with 11 cities in the top 50. So, USA once again has topped this list of the richest country in the world, while China dominates the Asian list with several cities featured. So remember, the World's Wealthiest City Report 2024 by Henley and Partners remarks New York as the top wealthiest city in the world. Mumbai is on 24th. 37th is gone to Delhi. And on second position was California. And the wealthiest, the richest country in the world is USA. World Bank report annual investment of US dollar 260 billion needed to have agri-food emissions by 2030, achieve net zero by 2050. So, World Bank report recipe for a living planet. So, this is the name of the report. Uh, States that annual investment needs to increase to US dollar 260 billion to halve agri-food emissions by 2030 and achieve net zero by 2050. So, according to this report, we require $260 billion to halve the agri-food emissions, the particular emissions that is because of the agricultural food based, and achieve net zero by 2050. Report emphasizes the potential of global agri-food system to cut nearly one third of global GHG emissions, greenhouse gas emissions, through accessible measures. Benefits in health, economic, and environmental terms could be as much as US dollar 4.3 trillion in 2030, a 16 to 1 return on investment costs. Developing countries should shoulder three quarters of agri-food emissions, necessitating actions across all incoming levels. So remember, according to a World Bank report, annual investment of US dollar 260 billion is required to particularly neutralize the greenhouse gases emission because of the agri-food emissions. Understanding West Nile fever, a mosquito-borne viral infection. So recently, West Nile fever is caused by the West Nile virus transmitted by infected Culex mosquitoes. The virus was first detected in Uganda in 1937. West Nile fever has now spread globally, including in India. The first reported case in India was in Kerala in 2011. So remember that unit understanding the West Nile fever, a mosquito-borne viral infection. So this was detected. It was first detected in Uganda, and basically is the current going disease that is under the radar or under the observation. India's toy export slipped to 152.34 million in 2023-2024 GTRI report. So according to the data, India's toy export has been declined by US dollar 152.34 million in the fiscal year 2023-2024. The decline occurred despite efforts to enhance quality control measures. Domestic industries aim to bolster product safety but saw limited export benefits. The report highlights the need for further strategies to improve export performance. So remember, the India's toy export has slipped to 152.34 million. That is a kind of a declination we can see in the 2023-2024 report. National Archives of India acquire invaluable collection of Sri Rafi Ahmad Kidwai. So, National Archives of India has acquired a priceless collection of Sri Rafi Ahmad Kidwai's private papers. So, archives is a kind of a thing that we do for the historical things, for any kind of photos and any kind of things. And in that case, the collection of Sri Rafi Ahmad Kidwai's private papers have been acquired as a priceless collection. Kidwai was a prominent figure in India's freedom struggle and nation building efforts. The collection includes original correspondences and other significant documents. This acquisition ensures the preservation of a vital part of India's history and Kidwai's legacy. So remember, the National Archives of India, they have acquired the invaluable collections of Sri Rafi Ahmad Kidwai. India received over US dollar 101 billion in remittances in 2022. UN International Organizations for Mitigation. So, according to the report, International Organization for Mitigation released the World Mitigation Report 2024, revealing that India received. Okay, so we have another news that India received over US dollar 111 billion in remittances in 2022. UN's International Organizations for Migration. So, International Organization for Migration released the World Migration Report, revealing that India received over US dollar 111 billion in remittances in 2022. India becomes the first country to surpass US dollar 100 billion marks in remittances. The top 5 countries receiving the highest remittances in 2022 are India, Mexico, China, and Philippines and France. United States is the largest source country for international mobile students, with significant remittances flowing to India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So remember this thing that India has received over US dollar 11 million in remittances in 111 billion in remittances in 2022. Canara HSBC Life Insurance introduces Promise for Growth plan. So recently on 6th May, Canara HSBC Insurance Company have introduced the Promise for Growth, a new unit linked insurance plan. The product offers 3 plan options: Promise for Wealth, Promise for Care, Promise for Life, each signed with different saving goals and life stages. The plan is designed to help customers achieve financial prosperity and security. ICICI Prudential Life Insurance also launched its first new ULIP called ICICI Pru Platinum on the same day. So, Canara HSBC Life Insurance introduces Promise for Growth plan. And for this purpose, particularly they have launched 3 new plans, that is Promise for Wealth, Promise for Care, and Promise for Life. FPSB India signed MOU with IFSCA to promote GIFT IFSC as the global finance hub. So, Financial Planning Search Standard Board India signed a memorandum with the International Financial Service Center Authority. The memorandum aims to promote GIFT City in Gandhinagar as a global finance hub. Key feature of the memorandum include talent pipeline support, ecosystem development, promotional activities, and research collaboration. The initiative seeks to improve the financial market ecosystem and nurture skilled professionals for gift city. So remember that FPSB, India has signed a memorandum with IFSCA to promote the gift IFSC. Adani Green Energy Limited signed a 20-year agreement with Government of Sri Lanka for wind power stations. So the Government of Sri Lanka has signed a 20-year power purchase agreement with Adani Green Energy Limited to develop wind power stations. AGEL will establish wind power stations in Mannar and Punerin, Sri Lanka, and will be paid 8.26 cents per kilowatt hour. So 100 cents counts to $1, and under this they will be paying 8.26 cents per kilowatt hour. So Adani Green Energy is now signing a 20-year agreement with the government of Sri Lanka for the wind power stations in the areas like Mannar and Punerin. In February 2023, AGEL received approval to invest US dollar 442 million towards the development of 484 megawatt wind power plants in northern Sri Lanka. The agreement aims to enhance Sri Lanka's renewable energy capacity. Recently, India has created a lot of things for Sri Lanka. Like the first one is the research campus in Kandy by IIT Madras. Another one is the SBI branch in Trinmakule in Sri Lanka. And now Adani Green Energy is also investing in Sri Lanka to create a wind power stations. Competition Commission of India approves the acquisition of additional shares in Sikkim Urja Limited. So, Competition Commission of India approved the acquisition of additional shares in Sikkim Urja Limited by Grenco Energies Private Limited. Sikkim Urja was established to carry out 1200 megawatt hydropower projects in North Sikkim, India. Approval allows Grenco Energies to enhance its stake in Sikkim Urja, strengthening its presence in the renewable energy sector. Grenco Energies is an indirectly owned subsidiary of Grenco Mauritius. So remember that Competition Commission of India, they have particularly approved the additional shares of the Sikkim Urja Limited. So Competition Commission of India is the authority that particularly approves the acquisition and the merger of any companies that are being done within the territory of India. Now they have particularly gave approval in the acquisition of the additional shares in Sikkim Urja Limited by Grenco Energies. P-Note investments in Indian market soared to nearly 6-year high. So investment through participatory notes in Indian markets reached rupees 1.5 lakh crore. This year, the highest level of P-Note investment is in nearly 6 years. Recently, this year also, if we talk about, India raised the mark of crossing the foreign exchange to $700 billion. And apart from that, recently a defense index was also started by the Motilal Oswal Asset Management Company. The surge includes investments in Indian equity debt and hybrid securities. The strong performance of the domestic economy has driven this investment increase. So remember, P-Note investment in Indian markets soared to nearly 6 years high. NCLT approval, Sapphire Media acquisition of Big 92.7 FM. So the National Company Law Tribunal, Mumbai, approved Sapphire's media acquisition of Big 92.7 FM. And this approval allows the resolution process initiated under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Sapphire Media acquisition plan involves Reliance Broadcast Network Big 92.7 FM. Acquisition is expected to enhance Sapphire's media portfolio. Okay, so basically, the Sapphire's Media is basically has done the acquisition of Big 92.7 FM under the approval of the NCLT and under the process of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. IA Western Command and IAF conducted joint exercise Gagan Strike 2 in Punjab. So we discussed in the last session also. So let's revise this one. So Kharga Corps of the Indian Army, Western Command and Indian Air Force concluded Gagan Strike 2nd, a 3-day joint exercise in Punjab. Recently, Tarang Shakti, a multinational Air Force exercise, was also conducted in India by the Indian Air Force. Exercise reviewed by Lieutenant General Manoj Kumar Katiyar aimed to refine process and validate the use of attack helicopters in mechanized operations. It involves Apache and advanced light helicopter weapon system integrated, unarmed aerial vehicles, and Army Special Forces. The exercise focused on live firing during offensive maneuvers and the integration of grounds and aerial assets for joint operations. And recently, the Adani Defense Group, they are also collaborating with the AJ Group of UAE. And apart from that, if we discuss, INS Nirdeshak was also given to the Indian Navy as a new survey vessel by the Garden Rich Shipyard Limited. C-295 aircraft, a transportation aircraft, was also deployed into the Indian Air Force recently. And HAL, that is the new Maharatna company in India, they have recently got another order by the Defense Acquisition Council to particularly create new LAH helicopters that are Prachand. IF conduct Bambi bucket operations to combat forest fires in Uttarakhand. So Uttarakhand was going through a lot of forest fires, and in that between, Indian Air Force has actively participated by to particularly save the environment by combating forest fires in Uttarakhand. And what they have done, so they have introduced the Bambi bucket operations. Bambi bucket operations were conducted using Mi-17 V5 helicopters. You can see it in this picture. These operations provide crucial relief in the Pori Garhwal sectors. The IF efforts are part of the broader initiative to control the raising fires. So forest fire is a big issue especially during the summer days, and this time it affected the Uttarakhand area in the month of April and May. And in between that, the Indian Air Force, they have conducted an operation that is called Bambi bucket operations to combat the forest fires in Uttarakhand. Also, the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Mr. Dhami, he introduced a new type of scheme in which the particular people who are living in the habitations of these forest areas, they can collect the dried leaves, and by that purpose they will be allowing a type of allowance in respect of the leaves that they are collecting. So Pushkar Singh Dhami, he also introduced some particular things to combat this particular type of things. Infosys receives a certification for artificial intelligence management system. So, Infosys, managed by Mr. Narayan Murthy, has received the certification named ISO IEC, this number, for its artificial intelligence management system, making it one of the first IT service companies globally to earn this recognition. The certification award by TUV India highlight Infosys' commitment to responsible AI practice and regulatory compliance. Infosys implemented the AIMS framework as a part of its TOPIS responsible AI suite and ensuring the monitoring and safeguarding of the AI model and systems. This certification enhances efficiency and accountability in AI endeavors, promoting responsible AI adoption across enterprises. So remember that Infosys, they are in particularly received the certification of the artificial intelligence management system. Recently, Infosys also got in collaboration with the Microsoft to create a new type of ecosystem in the artificial intelligence sector in India. Recently, Reliance also got into the pact between with the NVIDIA technology, which recently is particularly organized a summit in India, that is NVIDIA Summit, and in that Reliance and NVIDIA are coming together to create a new type of ecosystem of AI. Setu unveils CISAM, India's first domain-specific LLM for BFSI sector. So Setu, a division of Pine Labs Group, launched CISAM, India's first large language model for banking, financial service, and insurance sector. Developed in collaboration with Servam Artificial Intelligence, CISAM aims to enhance credit decision making, provide hyper-personalized financial services. CSAM utilizes data for credit worthiness assessment, customer profiling, enhancing financial process such as credit underwriting and fraud detection. The unveiling occurred at Adbhut India with notable figures like Nandan Nilekani and Shankar Maruvada in attendance. So remember that Setu unveils CSAM, India's first domain-specific LLM for BFSI sector. Coca-Cola India announces first ever partnership with Hockey India for National Women's Hockey League. So Anandan, the Hockey India Foundation, Coca-Cola India Foundation, announced its first ever partnership with Hockey India for the National Women's Hockey League 2024-2025. To add to this, Women's Asia Championship of Hockey is going to be held in Bihar. Partnership aims to improve women's hockey by providing specialized coaching, training equipment, nutritional support, and organizing camps and competitions. Initiative aligns with Coca-Cola India's She the Difference campaign, which celebrates and supports women. The first phase of the tournament commenced on April 30, 2024 and will conclude on 9th May 2024 in Ranchi, Jharkhand. So remember that Coca-Cola India announces the first ever partnership with Hockey India for National Women's Hockey League. Yuzvendra Chahal creates history to become the first Indian bowler to 350 T20 wickets. So Yuzvendra Chahal, who was recently also appointed as the brand ambassador by Gurugram administration to create awareness for the voting during the election time, has become the first Indian player to take 350 wickets in T20 cricket. Chahal achieved this milestone while playing for Rajasthan Royals in IPL. His remarkable feat adds to his legacy in T20 cricket history. Chahal continues to be a key player in the shortest format of the game. So remember the name Yuzvendra Chahal. He has created history to become the first Indian bowler to get 350 T20 wickets. World Asthma Day is being observed on 7th May. So World Asthma Day is observed annually on first Tuesday of May to raise awareness about asthma. Asthma Day 2024 was observed on 7th May with the theme Asthma Education Empowers. The day is led by the Global Initiative for Asthma and aims to educate people about asthma management. First World Asthma Day was observed in 1998 in conjunction with the first World Asthma meeting in Barcelona, Spain. So remember, World Asthma Day is being observed on 7th of May. 65th Borders Road Organization Raising Day, 7th May. So the Border Road Organization, the particular organization that is dedicated to create infrastructures or in the terms of roads in the border areas, especially in the regions that are aligned with the borders like China and Pakistan. So they are particularly celebrating the 65th Raising Day on 7th May to commemorate its establishment in 1960. 65th Raising Day of BRO was observed on 7th May. They recognize the efforts of BRO personnel in constructing and maintaining roads and bridges in border areas. BRO was established to secure India's border and develop infrastructure in remote areas of the North and Northeast Indian states. World Athletics Day, May 7th. So, World Athletics Day is celebrated annually on May 7th. Promote youth participation in athletics. The theme for World Athletic Day is World Mile Challenge. And if we talk about the aim of this day is to raise awareness about the benefits of physical activity and encourage young people to take up athletics. The first World Athletics Day was observed on 15 May 1996 as the part of IAAF Social Responsibility Initiative, Athletics for a Better World. So 7th of May is dedicated as World Athletics Day. Kids Athletic Day is aligning with the World Athletic Day on 7th May. So, Kids Athletics Day is observed annually on 7th May to encourage children and young people to play sports, especially athletics. Day is an important feature of World Athletics Kid Athletic Program. It creates aim to promote physical activity and healthy lifestyle among children. The program was established to foster a love for athletics from a young age. DOP Secretary Dr. Arunish Chawla launches the Meditech Tech-a-thon 2024 in collaboration with CII at New Delhi. So, Dr. Arunish Chawla, Secretary of the Department of Pharmaceutical, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers, launched the Meditech Tech-a-thon 2024. The initiative, in collaboration with the Confederation of Indian Industry, aims to revolutionize India's medtech sector by analyzing the value chain of select medical devices, fostering innovation and reducing import dependence. Participants will focus on 8 product segments, including cancer therapy, imaging, critical care, more to identify key stakeholders and challenges. India's medtech industry is projected to grow at 28% annually, reaching to a US dollar 50 billion by 2030, with a significant focus on quality for global competitiveness. So remember this thing as well. So DOP Secretary Dr. Arunish Chawla has launched the Meditech Stackathon 2024. Filmmaker Sangeet Sivan passed away. So renowned filmmaker Sangeet Sivan passed away at the age of 61. Sivan was known for his films like Byoham, Daddy, Gandharvam, and Yodha. He also directed 10 in Hindi movies, including Kya Cool Hai Hum and Apna Sapna Mani Mani. Sivan's contribution to cinema are widely recognized and celebrated. So remember, the director of Kya Cool Hai Hum film has died recently. The name was Sangeet Sivan. 2024 Pulitzer Prize in Journalism, Books, Drama and Music. ProPublica won prize under public service. So Pulitzer Prize is a very famous prize that is given in the field of journalism and arts. And on 6th May, the Pulitzer board announced the winners of the 108th Pulitzer Prize. ProPublica won the 2024 Pulitzer Prize in Journalism under the public service category. Hannah Dreyer of the New York Times won the Pulitzer Prize in Journalism under the investigative reporting category. David E. Hoffman of the Washington Post won the Pulitzer Prize in Journalism under the editorial writing category. The photography staff of Reuters won under breaking news photography. So please remember these particular data. And ProPublica, they have won in journalism. Hannah Dreyer of New York Times won the prize in journalism under investigating reporting category. And David E. Hoffman of the Washington Post won the Pulitzer Prize in journalism under editorial writing category. And in photography, Reuters won the photography award in journalism. Scotland Parliament elected John Swinney as its first minister. So recently, Mark Rutte, he was appointed as the head of the Secretary General of EU, and now we can see that Scotland Parliament has elected John Ramsay Swinney, the leader of the Scottish National Party, as the seventh First Minister of the Scotland. He succeeds Hamza Harun Yusuf, who formally resigned from the role, and John Swinney will be formally appointed with the royal warrant from His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom. So, as we know that Scotland is a part of United Kingdom, it is a country, but it is a part of United Kingdom also. Sweeney has a long political career, having served as a deputy first minister from 2024 to 2023 in various other cabinet roles. So, remember, Scotland Parliament, they have elected John Sweeney as the first minister. IRDAI approves appointment of Keki Mistry as the chairman of SDFC Life. So Keki Mistry has been appointed as the chairman of SDFC Life recently in SDFC Life Insurance. Follows the resignation of previous chairman Deepak Parekh. IRDAI approved Mistry's appointment. Mistry's leadership is expected to guide SDFC Life through its next phase of growth. So remember, IRDAI approves the appointment of Keki Mistry as the chairman of SDFC Life. Let's revise that what we learned so far. So, in World's Wealthiest Cities Reports 2024 by Henley Partners, New York tops. World Bank report annual investment of US dollar 260 billion needed to halve agri-food emissions by 2030. Understanding West Nile fever, a mosquito-borne viral infection. India's toy export slipped to 152.34 million in 2023-2024. National Archives of India acquires invaluable collection of Sri Rafi Ahmad Kidwai. India received US dollar 111 billion in remittances in 2022. UN International Organization for Migration. Canara HSBC Life Insurance introduces Promise for Growth Plan. FPSB India signed MOU with IFSCA to promote GIFT IFSC as a global finance hub. Adani Green Energy Limited signed a 20-year agreement with the government of Sri Lanka for wind power stations. CCI approves acquisition of additional shares in Sikkim Urja Limited. P-Note investments in India market soar to nearly 6 years high. NCLT approved the Sapphires Media acquisition of Big 92.7 FM. IA Western Command and IAF conducted joint exercise Gagan Strike 2. IAF conducts Bambi bucket operations to combat air forest fires in Uttarakhand. Infosys receives certification, ISO certification for Artificial Intelligence Management System. Setu unveils CISAM, India's first domain-specific LLM for BFSI sector. Coca-Cola India announced first ever partnership with Hockey India for National Women's Hockey League. Yuzvendra Chahal creates history to become the first Indian bowler to 350 T20 wicket. World Asthma Day, May 7, 65th Border Road Organization Raising Day, 7th May 2024. World Athletics Day, 7th of May. Kids Athletics Day, 7th of May. IRDAI approves appointment of KK Mistry as the chairman of SDFC Life. DOP Secretary Dr. Arunish Chawla launches the Meditex Techthon 2024, collaboration with CII. Filmmaker Sangeet Siman passed away at the age of 61. 2024 Pulitzer Prize in Journalism, Books, Drama, Music, ProPublica won prize under public service. The Scotland Parliament elected John Sweeney as its first minister. And that's it in this session. I hope you learned a lot of things and your notes are updated under this particular thing. So I will meet you in the next session. Until then, take care everyone and bye bye. We'll meet you soon.